Welcome to RTV Global Network.
Right. Let's jump right into this.
I'm Ryan, and alongside me is Sarah.
It is really fantastic to be here for this deep dive.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to set the stage for you listening, today is August 12th, 2026. That's 1/12/8/2026.
Right.
And our mission for today's deep dive is, well, it's a massive synthesis. We're looking at everything from local Sri Lankan updates to international headlines.
Yeah, like justice system overhauls, economic pivots, sports, geopolitics, you name it.
Exactly. And just a quick reminder for you, we are pulling all of this from top-tier local news and global wires. We aren't just making this stuff up.
Definitely not. It's all verified.
So I want to start with one of the most intense domestic debates happening right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the legal and penal system.
Oh, this is a heavy one.
It really is. Right now, inside the walls of Walikata Prison, the gallows are, well, they're fully maintained.
Wait, like actually ready to go?
Yeah. Oiled, tested, entirely functional. There are literally 2 executioners currently on standby.
Wow. That's chilling.
Right. I mean, today, they're probably just doing administrative duties, but they're waiting for a single phone call that could end a decades-long freeze on the death penalty.
But the government said that's just a proposal, right? Specifically for drug offenses.
Yeah, exactly. It's currently only a proposal. No final decision has been made. But it's wild when you contrast that with, say, Lebanon.
Oh, right. The news out of the Middle East.
Yeah, their parliament literally just voted to abolish the death penalty completely. They're the first Middle Eastern country to do so.
It's just, a massive contrast. You have one country moving backward, potentially, and another making history by dropping it entirely.
It makes me think, trying to implement the death penalty for drug offenses, it's like trying to fix a deeply rooted, rotting tree by just, I don't know, trimming the topmost branches.
That is a perfect analogy, actually. You aren't touching the cartel's root system. You're just creating a job opening for another foot soldier.
Exactly. And meanwhile, while they debate this, the actual physical prison system is collapsing.
It's practically bursting at the seams.
Yeah. An extraordinary gazette was just issued to reestablish the old Tangali prison.
Which, for anyone who doesn't know, an extraordinary gazette isn't just standard paperwork. It's an emergency bypass of standard procedures.
Right. You don't just issue one of those unless you are completely out of options.
And you can see that desperation with Negombo Prison, too.
Oh, yeah. The repairs starting next week.
Yeah. And they are bringing in the Sri Lanka Air Force to help with those repairs right after all that severe inmate unrest.
When you need the military to fix the civilian prison because the inmates tore it apart, that's a massive red flag.
It's just the physics of overcrowding. You cram that many people together, it reverts to pure survival. But to be fair, they are having extensive discussions about strengthening drug rehabilitation programs.
Right, specifically to ease that overcrowding.
Yeah, which is a structural shift, moving drug issues from a criminal failure to a medical one.
But the courts are still a huge bottleneck. Today, President Anura Kumara Dissanayake, AKD, is meeting the Bar Association of Sri Lanka, the BASL.
That's a highly anticipated meeting.
Very. And the BASL is urging the government to completely withdraw the 22nd Amendment.
Which is huge. The legal fraternity doesn't make demands like that lightly. It's all about the balance of power and judicial independence.
And speaking of the judiciary, there's this intense debate about raising the judge's retirement age to 67.
Right, but it's not just political. They're arguing over the medical aspects of it.
Yeah, like are they cognitively sharp enough to handle complex litigation at that age?
It's a valid question, especially when you have feature pieces questioning why the law is so slow right now.
Oh, I read that piece. It asks if the delays are due to a lack of judges, non-availability, or a lack of experience.
That last part is brutal. Questioning the competence of the presiding judges.
But it ripples down, right?
Yeah.
A slow judge means a delayed trial, which means more people sitting in remand, which directly causes the prison overcrowding we just talked about.
Exactly. It's a systemic domino effect.
And people are watching these dominoes, like Yoshita Rajapaksa arriving at the CID today.
Right, the Criminal Investigation Department. Cases like that are a stress test for the system.
People want to see if the rules apply equally to everyone.
Yep.
Okay, let's pivot. Because the justice system is expensive. And that brings us to the economy and, modernization.
The macroeconomy.
Yes. So the central bank governor, Dr. Nandal Weerasinghe, says he sees no need for further rate hikes this year.
After that huge unexpected hike in May, that's a big deal.
It is. It's like, imagine the economy is a car speeding downhill, And inflation is the momentum.
Okay, I'm with you.
The interest rate hikes are the brakes. They've been slamming on the brakes, making borrowing super expensive, which hurts businesses but slows inflation.
Right.
Now, by saying no more hikes, he's taking his foot off the brake.
And they're looking at the accelerator, actually. The government is signaling expansionary measures from 2027.
Post-IMF roadmap stuff.
Exactly, driving growth. But they are being careful with optics. Cabinet spokesman Minister Nalinda Jayatissa confirmed no basic salary increase for MPs.
Which, I mean, you can't ask the public to endure austerity while politicians get a raise.
Definitely not. It would be a PR disaster.
And speaking of finances, there's a forensic audit looming over a former state utility regarding millions in equity returns paid to Ace Power.
Emergency power contracts are always so murky.
Yeah, it's like paying a massive premium just to have an Uber sitting in your driveway in case of an emergency. They're checking if those returns were legally justified.
Which they need to do to build trust with foreign investors.
Absolutely. Now let's talk food security. The cabinet just approved releasing 30,000 metric tons of paddy.
From the Paddy Marketing Board, right?
Yes, to be converted into rice and released through Lanka Setosa.
That is direct market intervention to fight price gouging by private millers.
Yeah, flooding the market to force retail prices down. And in agriculture, the dairy sector is shifting hard to tech and climate-smart farming.
Especially after Cyclone Ditwa, traditional farming is just getting wiped out by the climate.
Tech is everywhere now. The government proposed a digital land system to curb land fraud.
Which is brilliant for unlocking what economists call dead capital.
Right, giving people verifiable deeds so they can actually get bank loans. President AKD is heavily pushing for scientific research to drive growth.
Yet then you have this World Bank report.
Oh man, the AI report.
Yeah, suggesting AI could transform developing economies in just 10 years.
And local data shows 81% of Sri Lankans now use AI instead of Google.
81%? That's a massive societal leapfrog.
But I have to push back here. Are we just recklessly outsourcing our critical thinking to algorithms?
It's a huge risk.
I mean, before we even have digital safety nets, we're relying on chatbots that hallucinate facts.
We are definitely building the airplane while we're flying it. The regulatory framework is lagging way behind.
Let's hope people are double-checking what the bots tell them. But anyway, let's look at how the global markets are reacting to all this local modernization.
Things are actually looking up. Sri Lanka is climbing the Institute of International Finance rankings.
The IF rankings, yeah. One of the fastest improvers in investor relations and debt transparency.
Debt transparency is everything. Investors hate the unknown. By opening the books, Sri Lanka is calming the market.
And you see that locally, too. Singer Sri Lanka's first quarter profit rose 44%.
Which means consumer confidence is returning. People are buying fridges and TVs again.
Right. And United Motors Lanka just introduced the new Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. The secondary market has moderate momentum, even though indices closed in the red.
But there's still some bureaucratic friction.
Oh, the customs issue.
Yeah, Customs had to appoint a special committee to settle a vehicle import dispute over letters of credit.
Basically, a local bank guarantees payment to a foreign manufacturer. But if import rules change overnight, the cars get stuck at the port.
Exactly. It's macro policy causing micro friction.
On the tourism front, though, huge surge. Over 1.3 million visitors in 2026 so far.
Which is massive for the hospitality ecosystem.
There was a slight 8% slip in early August, about 42,810 visitors, but the macro trend is undeniably strong.
You don't worry about an 8% dip when the yearly total is that high.
True. And we're going on the offensive with exports. Sri Lanka is pushing hard to grab a bigger share of India's gem and jewelry market.
It makes sense. Value addition. Don't just sell the raw sapphire, sell the finished jewelry directly to India's growing middle class.
But the global markets they're exporting into are tense. Oil and gold prices are rising fast.
Mounting geopolitical tensions. Plus, everyone is waiting for the U.S. CPI release.
The Consumer Price Index, yeah. Inflation data.
Exactly. If U.S. inflation is hot, interest rates stay high, which makes debt more expensive globally, so investors buy gold to hide.
So let's talk about those geopolitical tensions, because we are seeing a massive shift in the world order.
The rise of China and the decline of U.S. unipolarity.
It's totally reshaping global politics.
Yeah.
There's even expert opinion saying the wars in Ukraine and Iran mean Western militaries need an entirely new training and operational module.
Because the old counterinsurgency tactics don't work in high-intensity start-on-state wars.
It's like imagine a high-stakes game of Monopoly. For decades, everyone played by the U.S. rules. But now, Suddenly, half the players have decided to use a completely different currency and ignore the old rules.
That's multipolarity in a nutshell.
Yeah, we see it locally. Indian Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri met with President AKD,
And he brought a $350 million credit facility.
which is classic economic diplomacy. But India is also calling for early provincial council elections in Sri Lanka,
Right, asserting their historical role regarding the devolution of power.
which brings us to the domestic political discourse. And for you listening, I want to be super clear. We are neutrally reporting these viewpoints. We are not taking a side.
Absolute neutrality, we're just looking at the landscape.
So the Jain opposition claims a, quote, red junta is secretly running the country, not the elected MPP or JVP.
That's a highly calculated rhetorical framing to stoke fear.
Yeah. Meanwhile, JVP's Tilvin Silva is pushing back on the provincial council elections delay. He says a lack of money is no longer a valid excuse.
Which forces the delay to be seen as a political choice rather than an economic necessity.
And then GL Paris claims the government is under intense pressure to listen to the Mahayana Theras.
Highlighting the immense cultural and informal veto power the Buddhist clergy holds over national policy.
It's a complex web. But let's look at international news, because it's wild right now.
Oh, the U.S. politics update.
Yeah. Donald Trump had to secretly switch planes, leaving a NATO summit in Turkey.
Due to a security threat, right.
Hmm.
Advised by the Secret Service.
Yeah, last-minute plane switch on foreign soil.
Mm.
The logistics of that are insane.
It really shows the vulnerability of high-profile global travel.
Also, Trump signed an order to limit childhood vaccines and split up the MMR shots.
Which goes against decades of global epidemiological consensus. It's medical science colliding with political ideology.
Speaking of policy, France just did something I think everyone will love.
The telemarketing ban.
Yes, they completely banned unsolicited telemarketing calls. It's being hailed as a consumer revolution.
It's a massive reassertion of privacy rights. Your phone number is your sovereign boundary.
I wish we had that here. And finally, in pop culture, Cristiano Ronaldo married his longtime partner, Georgina Rodriguez.
That's a macroeconomic event in itself with all the brand synergies.
And original Game of Thrones dragon eggs are heading to auction.
Monetizing modern mythology. People will pay a fortune for foam props.
We really assign value to the most incredible things. But let's bring it back to reality. Society, health, environment.
There's a serious health crisis right now.
Yeah, Sri Lanka has recorded an alarming surge of over 90,000 dengue cases.
90,000 cases is a systemic shock to the health infrastructure.
It's vector-borne, right? Mosquitoes.
Yep, the A's mosquito. It's mostly an environmental failure monsoon rains, plus improper waste management in urban areas.
And it pushes hospital staff to the absolute brink.
Definitely.
On the environmental side, it is World Elephant Day.
A lot of calls to protect elephants and promote peace.
Yeah, there's a reported invasion threatening the Udawalawe elephants.
By invasion, they usually mean illegal human activity, like logging or cattle grazing, pushing the elephants out.
But there's also the positive story of Kamada's post-war restoration.
Showing that nature can bounce back if we just remove the human stressors and protect it.
Sajith Premadasa even proposed making the wild elephant the national animal.
Which would be a huge legal hammer for conservationists.
Yeah.
It elevates the elephant's legal status immensely.
Speaking of animal management, Tangali almost completely covered their stray dog population with a sterilization drive.
That's the scientifically proven way to handle urban wildlife and rabies vectors, unlike culling.
We also have environmental debates up in the hills. The path from Negrak to Horton Plains reopening has hit a fork in the road, bureaucratically.
The classic tension between ecotourism revenue and ecological conservation.
And there's an opinion piece urging the country to stop letting rainwater go to waste.
Because of the flash floods that just wash out to the ocean, followed by droughts 6 months later.
Right, it's an infrastructure issue, which leads to daily disruptions. Commuter chaos is everywhere.
The traffic in Baralas-Gamua.
Yeah. Restrictions from August 13th to 15th. Plus, the Hikkaduwa-Maradana train line keeps having technical issues causing huge delays.
Which points to a lack of funding for public transport maintenance.
And tragically, an SLTB bus crashed in Metawaxia, leaving 13 injured.
That demands a real audit of state transport safety protocols.
On top of that, we have severe crime updates. Police are hunting gunmen who pulled off an assassination in Malgawat.
The victim was a relative of an alleged criminal, right?
Yeah, and in Tangal, gunmen opened fire on a fisheries boat owner's house.
That really points to a fracturing in the local underworld, a turf war.
Yeah, and it shows that illegal firearms are way too accessible.
It's a dark reality,
It is. So let's end this on the playing field. Sports.
where we actually have some huge triumphs.
Absolutely. Sri Lanka's Rumesh Tharanga is officially the world #1 in men's javelin.
Which is incredible biomechanically.
And he boldly stated he will bring Sri Lanka an Olympic gold. No PR fluff, just pure confidence.
That champion mentality is exactly what galvanizes a nation.
We also saw the Sri Lanka women's cricket team make a huge statement with a 6-wicket win over Pakistan.
Massive for the visibility and funding of women's sports.
And the Galley Gallants were crowned LPL 2026 champions.
Plus, President AKD met with the SLC Transformation Committee.
Right, Sri Lanka cricket. Because it's not just a game, it's a massive economic entity.
Ensuring it's free of corruption is a matter of national interest.
Other local wins. Sri Lanka crushed India 134 in a regional match.
Wow.
The Peterites snatched a rugby victory from the jaws of defeat.
Love that.
And in football, Blue Star and Seahawks drew, but a coach got yellow carded twice.
That is just raw, grassroots sporting passion right there.
Oh, and the Daily Mirror Premier League Fantasy Challenge is heating up.
Naturally.
But the global administration of sports is where it gets geopolitical.
Yes, Jaswal Umar was elected vice president of SAFF. Huge diplomatic win for Sri Lanka.
But over in Europe, UEFA's 55 member associations are threatening to boycott the World Cup if FIFA's new plans go through.
It mirrors the geopolitical multipolarity we talked about earlier. FIFA is the unipolar power, but UEFA generates the actual value.
So they're pushing back against the hegemon.
Exactly. It's a boardroom power struggle over billions of dollars.
But then, amidst all that money and politics, we get a tragic reminder of human fragility.
The incident in Thailand?
Yeah. A footballer was killed, and 12 others, including a Malaysian player, were injured by a lightning strike during a match.
It's just devastating. It really strips away all the administration and reminds us that they're just vulnerable humans exposed to nature.
It really puts everything into perspective.
It does.
Well, we have covered an incredible breadth of topics today, from the galas of Walikata to the geopolitical chessboard and the Olympic ambitions of local athletes.
We looked at the macroeconomics of interest rates, digital land registries, and the fight against agricultural monopolies.
And we dug into the health crisis of Bangay, the protection of our elephants, and the power dynamics of global football.
It's all connected. Every policy shift ripples down into our daily lives.
It truly is. And I want to leave you, the listener, with a final thought to mull over.
Let's hear it.
We started our tech discussion by marveling at digital land systems and the fact that 81% of you are using AI to find information.
Right.
Yet we are still battling ancient fundamental challenges: overcrowded prisons, dengue outbreaks, human-elephant conflicts.
The physical reality on the ground.
Exactly. So as we sprint toward a digital 2027, would our technology finally solve our most human problems, or just distract us from them?
That is the defining question we have to answer.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive on RTV Global Network. Keep questioning the headlines, keep looking for the hidden connections, and we'll be right back here next time.